So here's another question that relies on our understanding of what's referred to as a co-function identity. So we see here sine 49. So first, let's establish what that even means. So according to SOHCAHTOA, which as you know by now, you really need to have memorized for the different trigonometric relationships of sine, cosine, and tangent, which relates the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse sides. Specifically, since we're looking at sine, we're looking for opposite over hypotenuse. So let's label these sides. The easiest one for me is always opposite. So from 49 degrees, this is clearly the opposite side. The next easiest for me is the hypotenuse, which can either be described as the one side not touching this right angle symbol, which is right here, or you could think of it as the side across from the right angle. And by default, this other one is the adjacent side. So when they're talking about sine 49, they're saying opposite, which we could label as x for now, over hypotenuse, which we could label as y. So sine of 49 in this diagram is x over y. So we got to figure out what else, which expression is equivalent to sine of 49 degrees. Well, we know according to my triple T document, we don't want to look at the answer options right away. It's not going to get us the answer. They'll usually just confuse you. However, it can be useful to look at the answer format. So notice, according to answer format, they're trying to figure out, okay, which trigonometric function and from which angle is going to be the same as sine 49. Now, we could actually use the answer options to our advantage. And notice a couple of these have to do with cosine and a couple of them have to do with sine. So let's go in order. If we go cosine from angle C, so from angle C, we want to notice that the opposite and adjacent sides are going to change. The hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse. It is an objective side. But from angle C, the opposite is right here, and by default, this is adjacent. Well, keep in mind, we labeled this as x and this as y. Let's go ahead and call this one z. And so if we do cosine from C, where cosine's adjacent over hypotenuse, you have adjacent over hypotenuse. Well, look at that. That ends up being equivalent to sine of 49, making the correct answer A. And you could have potentially gone through the other options, specifically if we didn't get the answer right away, but you would still find that the others don't work.